Good evening. Whoa, coming in hot tonight. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ben's Camera Show. I'm your host, and my name is Ben Slotover, and I will be talking about cameras and camera-related stuff for the next hour or so, finishing off with a little film show. And in the past, we have concentrated more on the Super 8 stuff, and we had 1 week of just Bleach, and we had 1 week of something completely non-camera related. So tonight we are looking at two things. We're looking at Super 8 loops, and we are looking at standard 8 cameras. In fact, we have two cameras I'm going to show you from, well, I'll get into it. I'm going to see which one did it better. Of course, we've got footage to show you, not just showing you the cameras, got to show you some footage, or else the show is only half completed. Anyway, I was at Mike's Filmboy 24 podcast, a video stream on Sunday. He's got himself a lovely little community going on there, and I see a lot of names here from that community too, and some others as well. So I can go check out Filmboy 24 if you're not already there. This is your Thursday fix. Who's in the house? Barry. Hi, Barry. Hi, Staz, Vlad, Old Radios, Super Cine 100. Have I heard from you before? It doesn't matter. This is welcome to everyone. We're not just a closed shop here. So, what's everyone been up to? Well, I'll tell you what I've been up to while you write what you've been up to. I see already. Who is that? Someone got an amazing... Yes, Old Radio scored 7 cameras at a swap meet. I am jealous. I've forsworn any more cameras. I don't know how I ended up with the 2 I'm going to talk about today. I really can't remember. They were in a crate or something. I don't know. Somehow they got in my possession. So let me just see if yes, my top camera is working. Great. And I will be going into my little box in a second. In fact, why not go into my little box right now? Boing. Right. And I'm going to talk about something that I did. Well, something coming up very soon. I'm excited to announce this Saturday in London at the wonderful Cinema Museum. I will be presenting Exploding Cinema. And I've gone on about this before, I know, but Exploding Cinema is a film screening club, and we show all sorts of films on made in all sorts of formats and budgets. We are open access. It's a place where filmmakers get to show their stuff in an amazing location. And I'm talking about the Cinema Museum. That's what it looks like. It's an amazing place in Elephant and Castle in London. And there's some shots from a previous show. Really should get down there. So that's this Saturday at the Cinema Museum, 7 o'clock, and I will be presenting that one. We take turn to present it, so now it's my turn to shine. Now, one of the things we do at Exploding Cinema is, in case you didn't already see, we project lovely images all over the walls. We use mostly video projectors, although we use a lot of slide projectors as well, and we also have some Super 8 projectors as well. And we like to get in there early and completely cover all the walls and the ceiling with our wonderful projections. Now, there's some projections right there. I'll get my keyboard off this. That's very unprofessional. So yeah, so it's projections all over the wall. Now, I'm going to show you tonight something that we used to do a lot more than we do now. And that is we do loops. Super 8 loops. Now, these days, you can just, create something on your computer and stick it on VLC, hit the repeat 1, and put that out to a video projector. Boom, it's showing your showing your video all night long and looping it. But where's the fun in that? Well, it's a little bit fun, but here's something that's a lot more fun. I'm talking about Super 8 loops, and I'm going to start off. Let's go to my little screening room there. Where have I gone? Boing, here I am. I'm going to start off with a film that I made and put out on my YouTube channel a few years ago, where I talk about the loop making process. And in order to cut the amount of effort involved in putting out these shows, I am reusing the footage now to show you now. So let's have a look at my loops film. And for this little Super 8 quickie, I'm going to go into the mechanics of making a Super 8 loop. A Super 8 loop is a strip of film that goes through the projector, out the other side, then you splice it to itself. So it just keeps going round and round and round. Now this is very good if you're doing an art piece or a show which demands some kind of visuals effect. If you film something in front of a piece of black felt, in this case a sparkler, then when you project it, it looks great. Now to make it look even greater, I turned it over, and with magnifying glass and a light box thingy and some permanent color markers, I was able to color in the sparkler frame by frame, actually alternated colors just for extra coolness. And when you splice that together and play it as a loop, it makes this crazy colorful sparkler which looks great on anything you project it onto. So yeah, that's how you make a Super 8 loop, and you can have a lot of fun with them with permanent markers and messing around. Thing is, the only thing to watch out for is if you scratch the film a lot with a scraper. If you make some cool effects that way, you can do that. It's more likely to jam through the projector after a few loops, so watch out for that. And that's the Super 8 loop, and that's the end of this Super 8 quickie. Right, so what we can see here are some of the loops that I took the Exploding Cinema box of Super 8s, which was a mother load, let me tell you. In fact, I'm going to show you. Oh, it's like this much, and it is full of Super 8s, Standard 8s, and this little tin here, this little tin that you see here, which would have lots of very, very, very tiny little coiled up bits of Super 8, about a foot or two each. And these were loops which were used in shows over the years, and then at the end of the show they were cut and rolled up into little rolls like this in case we ever wanted to use them again. Now, the problem is that once unrolled, these things have basically taken on, well, I'll show you, they've taken on a very, very curly nature and probably would jam if we ever put them through a projector again. So what I did was, of course, I spliced them all together into one long roll, and I scanned it. Now look, some of these loops, look at this. They were in little packets like this. Someone had like packaged it up and written something on the outside. And I've got the fragments of paper that it was. In fact, let's have a look here. So yeah, that's me unwrapping it, and look, there's a loop inside there. Here are the bits of paper here. I got 4 hands. This is cool. Oh dear. So that's the loop there, and here's the bits of paper that were there. So I'm trying to see what I think it says. Landscape there, and it also I think it says railway and railway track, and that says upside. So what's that exactly? I think it's somewhere. It was written upside down, and yeah. So basically, I scanned what was inside it because that's an easier way to see what it is instead of all this faffing around. And yes, upside. I think it says upside. So it probably said upside down, and the down got ripped off. So this is what it was, which is yep. Upside down right there, railway tracks. So this was shown at a show. That's a nice one. I like the railway tracks there. That was shown on a loop, and I think I've looped it once. There we go. That was the join right there. Old Radio says loop-de-doo. Hey, Manny's in the house. Hey, Manny. So yeah. So while we're here, why not have a little close-up look at how I splice film? I've done a whole show on splicers, but I thought, you know, while I'm busy sort of filling time, I might as well film the process. Now that's what the loop looked like when it was unraveled. It immediately coiled itself up into like a jerry curl, and then I spliced them all together, and then I wound them around a single reel, which uncurled them a little bit. This is how to do splicing on a Bolex chemical splicer, a cement splicer. So that's there. I'm going to roughen up that bit of film and push the lever, which cuts it. And I got a little brush and I sweep the little bits off, probably onto the floor. Here's a close-up now of doing that again. This is the left-hand side of the splicer, which has to have emulsion up. So I had to unroll it like that. Very fiddly work. There we go. It goes onto the pins like that, and you put the thing down, and then rub that thing up and down. That's right. Just cut that thing, cut it, rub it, cut it. Oh dear, well, it didn't cut properly. There we go. Now it's cut. Give it another rub, roughen up that edge. Look at those bits that came off. Let's sweep those away with the little brush. There we go. There's a nice surface for sticking right there. See, it's that white bit there. And I was painting a little bit of film cement onto it there. Just needs a tiny bit. And then turn the other side over, push the two bits of film together, wait 15 minutes, think about your life, and then you press the button, and then the whole thing comes open, and you've got a stuck together piece of film. I think that's long enough. Go on. There we go. And there we go. One piece of really quite well stuck together two pieces of film. Now, let's see some of these loops that I found. This is a nice one. 20 million miles to Earth. We put some music on. Yeah, that's a good one. Nice effects from back then. Now, there are a lot of these things there. Now, here's a good one coming up. Tecnofilm presenta Il Mal de Mare. Tio Manny says, love those Bolex splicers. You and me both, mate. That thing has served me so well. Don't have to buy splicing tape, nothing. So I think this was Sylvester and Tweety Pie cartoon. That's the end. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? What have we got next? Now here's one of those black velvet ones. Now, this Mecha Godzilla, this was made by Duncan Reiki of Exploding. And he just films that, and then when you project that, you don't see the sides of the picture. You just see this spinning Godzilla thing. That's a very nice shot. That's on Super 8 and probably Kodachrome back in the day. Here's another one, some sort of parade. I think we'll be seeing a bit more of that parade later. It's quite funny. Little kids dressed like Chelsea pensioners. What else? Oh, that one loops twice. All right. Older radio. So this is cool. Yeah. It is, isn't it? It looks like a 90s music video. Okay, what have we got next? Have we got another one? Here's another one. Here's another rotating. Yeah, that's very 9 Inch Nails, isn't it? A Woody from Toy Story. Now look at that. That's interesting. I'll just pause it for a second there and put my camera on. So this area, you can see the projector has actually chewed up the sprocket over the evening. Because these, Super 8 wasn't really designed to go round and round and round the same projector. So some projectors, they can the film can get a bit loose and it can just eat away. So the sprocket hole's been made pretty mental, pretty big there. So that one can't go through a projector again. It would, but now we've got it on digital. We can do whatever we want. We can project it digitally. Although that's a sin. Roros says, hello, Ben. Everyone. No. Look at these. This is a nice leader here with some of those pictures. They have a picture there. A little picture of a lady. Because they want. Oh, and another one. Don't know why those bits were there. I think there's so that the projectionist or the colorist can make sure that it's properly color corrected or something. They show flesh tones. It's always white people. There's a thing. That's a thing. Yeah. Anyway, Desiree. This was some film with Marlon Brando. I don't know why this was looped. I mean, I guess they just took the first few feet out and made a long loop with it. Marseille from 17. I like to think of this as the Apocalypse Now prequel. This is like when Colonel Kurtz was starting to lose his mind and he thought he was Napoleon, and he's trying to persuade the last lady in his camp not to leave. He's got a cloak around her and everything. You can tell he's reading his lines. He famously couldn't remember his lines, Marlon Brando. Pretty good actor though. Can't deny that. And there we go. There's the Brando fire that we all know. Is that the last one? Yep, that's the last one. So very nice. Very nice, very nice. Oh, no. Why do I keep doing it? I never learn. Right, so that's Super 8 Oops. Let's see what anyone... Oh, my God, there's been a lot of comments on the chat. This is cool. Looks like, yeah, all the old footage. Tia Manny's the horror. Yeah, I don't know. Early Brando. Was that any good? I don't know. Anyway, should we get on to the meat of the show? Yes, let's get that off. Get that on. Whoops, we don't need that anymore. There's the loops. Techno film. That's the lady that was in the. I've made that the top picture today. So as you can see here, there's always color bars with these leader ladies. I don't know what you'd call them, but they're holding up a color chart. Properly color corrected ladies are in your area. Anyway, so this shows you how old film can start getting pink and went over the years. And I tried color correcting this still, and that's as far as I got really. Not perfect, but what are you going to do? Now, here we go. We're going to talk about these cameras now. I've always dug loops, says Tio Manny. And the potatoes of the show. Yes, the meat and the potatoes of the show. Very good. The Island of Dr. Moreau is a masterpiece. Yeah, I don't get me started on the Island of Dr. Moreau. The story of the making it is even more mental than the film, and that's saying something. So, let's look at some cameras. Boom, here it is. Damn, I want to actually have these all lined up. We're looking at two standard 8 cameras tonight. This actually makes it more confusing to have them above their actual images here. So let's just get rid of that and put a white background on. Here we go. So we've got a Fujica Zoom 8, Fujica, and something called an Astral Reflex Zoom. An Astral is not a company that I'm very aware of. And Fujica, I am aware of as a single 8 company. They are more well known for pioneering the single 8 format. And Zoom 8, this is a standard 8 camera. Fujica is actually a portmanteau word of Fuji camera. Did you know? So it is actually the Fuji company who make these, and they called them Fujica for Fuji camera. Anyway, so Old Rio says, I like my Canon 512. Spring hasn't crapped the bed. Good for you, mate. Let us know if you've got it to hand. Let us know what the serial number is on that. Because if it's anything above 12,000, then it might crap the bed. I've gone on about that before. So anyway, these two cameras, these are mid-level cameras. I found very little information about them online, other than one or two on sale on eBay. But because they both have zoom lenses, and they're both standard 8, they are sort of mid to late standard 8 cameras. Basically, when zoom lenses came in for domestic cameras, Super 8 wasn't far behind. So I would put these at mid 60s, these cameras. Early 60s, you're looking at stuff like the Bolex. I would say mid 60s design on these two. Provenance. Other than that, I can't tell you much more about, when they were made or how many were sold or which dates they were made between. There's just very little information. Even Filmcorn didn't have anything on these, or Super 8 Wiki. So that's why I thought I'd put them head to head, because they are of a similar pedigree. And I'm going to start by just taking the handle off this thing. I don't know why. Old Ray says, looks like a rebadged Canon. The Astral, it's made by a company called Nihon Camera Company. So yeah, it is Japanese, and it's got this a little bit like a Yashica. I did a review of a Yashica Up or Yashica UP not long ago, and it was a similar kind of shape, and although it had batteries stuck in the bottom here. Neither of these are battery-powered cameras. Now, I don't know whether I should just pick a feature and then show you it on one camera, then the other, or whether I should talk about just one camera for the whole thing and then just the other camera. I think I'm going to do option 1, where I'm going to basically sort of cross-compare all the features on these cameras, because they pretty much have exactly the same feature set, but they're just a little bit different here and there. So, Oldreyer says, oh, he's gone and got his serial number. It's 11,5675. I think you're all right. I think that's the Swedish steel spring. So, good. Best of luck to you, mate. I have found, though, that camera gets very soft at anything below f4. I don't know. It just goes way out of focus. I don't know what the deal is there. Raw Russ says, is there anything you can do to fix faded pink red film other than to correct using software? I was thinking it's not a chemical that can correct it. There is a guy, Mario something, on Super 8 Facebook group, and he has a process where he basically strips red dye out of the film. He doesn't correct it, he doesn't add anything, he actually takes away the layer of red dye. So it makes it a little bit thinner, but it does correct the color. Another thing you can do, very simple fix, you can put a colored filter over your projector lens. So you could actually project a reddish film, put a greenish filter over the lens. It'll make it slightly dimmer, but it will take away some of that red. Although you can just scan it and color correct it. So there we go. So anyway, let's start with the winding of these cameras. They're both clockwork. This has got a very nice action. It doesn't make any clicking noises, and you can wind it and then go back and wind it. So you don't have to just wind it and then change your hand position and wind it again and again like that. So it has got the back and forth kind of wind. Let's see if this one does. It does, yes. It's a bit stiffer, but it does have that kind of Bolex style winding action that they did in the past. Now, Rora says, okay, thanks. You're welcome. So we've got filming speeds. On the Fujica, you've got 16 frames a second, 24 and 32. Pretty simple there. On the Astral, excuse me, we've got 12, 16, 24 and 32. Okay. Similar, just it's got 12 as well. 12 FPS is pretty good. So that's score one for this already. Because if you're in low light condition, you can get it right down to 12 and you can let more light in. So yeah, already the Astral's slightly ahead. In terms of automatic metering, this one will do ASA 10, 16, 25 and 40. And the Fujica, it's got this nice little sort of thing here. E, I think that's like manual. It'll do 10, 12 ASA. I mean, this is all academic. You can't get 12 ASA film unless I suppose you're using totally expired stuff. 25, 30, 40. You know what? I don't even use the auto light meter on these things anymore. I eyeball it because you don't know how good these light meters are anymore, and it's unlikely that the film you're shooting will match up with one of the speeds available there. I use 100 ASA UN54, and of course these don't go to 100. Right, what have we got now? We've got the footage counter. In fact, I'll get onto the footage counter later because there's something I want to show you here. What's this on the Fujica? Okay, for this is that's the single frame advance. So basically still images, one frame at a time. And it's not a button. Rather infuriatingly, you have to plug one of these jobbies in order to activate, for it to take one frame. And that's bloody annoying. I mean, look, it's not Victorian times. It was mid-60s. Let's listen to that. Let's see. Okay, single frame. Here we go. All right, so every time I press that, it goes forward one frame. Bit clunky. Seems to work. You need one of these wires. On this one, what have we got? Well, the single frame is quite nicely. It is tied in with the run button. So if I start, there we go. Let's get some sound on this. So if I push this thing down, There you go. And if I push it up, 1 frame. So very simple. You don't need the thing. So another score for the Astral Reflex Zoom. In fact, while we're at it, let's hear what these two sound like, what their motors sound like. So Astral, I don't know what that's going to teach us, but here we go. And this one, which sounds better to you? Tell me in the comments. I hate that. Like when you see a YouTube video and it says, so what do you think of the violent punishment of hung, drawn and quartered? Tell me in the comments. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Ugh, God, what am I wasting my time doing? Here we go. This here is the run lock wheel. So there's an R and an L. It does not mean left and right. It means lock, you can't do the thing. Run, you can do the thing. And that's about it for this side of the camera. And this side as well. We will get back to the footage counter because, like I said, there's something I want to show you. Now let's see the front of the cameras. The fronts. Well, we can see first of all that the Astral Reflex Zoom has a slightly bigger lens. I believe that's... Actually, you know what? It's just a slightly bigger rim around the lens. I think the lenses are actually about the same size. Yeah. Yeah, it was my eyes playing tricks on me there. Over here we have that's the shutter button on the Fujica. RL, run lock, so you just turn it to R one way and L the other way. Not bad. It's also got, you can see it's got a thread there, so you could actually run the camera using this thing as well. You can plug that in and do it remotely. Now the front, look at this. The hell? This is the light meter. I mean, that's a bloody massive window there to tell you what your ASA is. Does it work though? I don't know. I actually haven't tried it. Let's have a look. I'll get some very bright light, and we'll stick it in here. Stick it actually not in there, on there. So let's look into the. I doubt it's going to work. So look into the lens, see if you see any difference. Yeah, I see. It's very hard to see. Let's try it closer up here. Okay, so look inside there. I'm going to put this light on it, on the light meter, and you can't see that. Anyway, I take it from me. The thing does work, but I'm not going to use it anyway. So Robert says, do these cameras have flash on them to take still frames? No, they don't have a flash sync. Tio Manny says, nice coating on the lens for both. I guess so, yes. It's no mold that I can see. Ooh. Right, let's turn it over. We'll look at the lenses in just a sec. Let's see on this side. Okay, here we have the film compartments. And this one has the aperture adjustment here on the side with this, a bit like the Russians. They did that. They had this something like this, changing the aperture. In fact, can we see that? Can we see it change? Oh yeah, I very barely saw something move there. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm going to do it now. Oh, I thought I saw it move. Okay, well, yeah, it's very simple. In fact, the problem is with this is if you're holding it without the handle, it is actually possible to nudge this thing by accident. It's very easy to nudge it. This one, the Fujica, has a bit more of a hidden away, not hidden away, but an inaccessible f-stop thing there at the front. But I did find myself actually jogging that once or twice. Let's have a look inside these. Now, one of them I've got loaded with some dummy film. Not this one. So inside, you know, it's your basic standard 8 reel system. Here's one on top. Film comes off here. How do you thread it through here? Well, it's very simple. It's just spring loaded here. You don't. There's no button or lever. You just hold it open, get the film through it, and onto this one, and let it just flip back in there. Now, this is what I wanted to show you. This is a pain in the arse. It's difficult to get this reel in and out because of this thing. This is in the way. And what this is it's the film counter. it basically sits on the film, and as you use it up, or rather as you fill the bottom reel up, it pushes this towards the edge there. See, as the thing fills up with film. And while that's happening, look at it on this side. Okay, so moving that lever does this. Whoa, see? So there's our film counter there. So yeah, it's a simple like system which will show you a fairly accurate information about how empty your film is. The thing is, when you're putting this on, especially if you're doing it inside a changing bag, it won't go on because you have to. Yeah, so annoying. It's now stuck. You have to press this lever and keep that thing open while you get the reel onto it, and then let go. Yeah, bit annoying that. That's a mark down for the Astral for that. Let's see what's going on in this one. There's something very cool I'm going to show you in a sec. Oh, well, firstly, on this one, on the Fujica, there's our feet and meters. You can barely see it there. But it looks like I've used 2 meters or 2 feet. I think it's 2 feet. But inside here is dummy film. Don't worry, dummy film. So here's what the system looks like when it's up and running. You again load the film through here. It's got actually a lever a bit like the Bolexes, where you can open and close the thing like that to get the film in, and then to lock it in the gate. When you start filming, it does that. Now this is interesting. Usually these things have these spikes, I guess you call them. No, spindles have a thing around them to stop you from getting the reel on the wrong way, and this is no exception. But notice this: it's got this stripy thing on the end of the spindle, right? Now that, when you shut this gate, this door, it lines up with that tiny little hole there. And when you're filming, I've made a film to show you of this. Let's have a look. Here we go. When you're filming, you can see this going round. See? And that's actually quite a nice way to physically check to see if your film is actually your top reel is actually spinning around. Because if that's going around, there's a good chance that there's film coming off it and going through the system. See? As this turns around. Why is it nothing coming? Oh, because I've messed around with this. Well, anyway. So anyway, yes. So that's nice. So that can be seen. This thing can be seen through this tiny little window there. Nice for checking if your film's going around. Nice little feature. So that's score 1 point for the Fujica. All right, I got to stop that. It's driving me up the bloody wall. Right, finally, lenses. What do we have in terms of lenses? Well, this one goes down to, what is it? f1.8. It has quite a smooth zoom. This is the Fujica. It's got a quite nice smooth zoom. Interestingly enough, on the focus here, you can turn it around. There's the point that your focus is attached to. So it goes down, 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 down to what's the closest you can get to someone? 4 feet, 3.5 feet. So that's what, like a meter, bit more than a meter and a bit. But then if you turn it even more, it goes onto here and it says for converter. So I think that's for like a macro converter that you screw onto the front. And you have to put your focus all the way down to here when you use the converter. I don't have a converter. Sue me. No, I don't know. This thing, it's got this quite nice little sort of adapter. I don't know what that adapter is. Probably completely a Fujica propriety system here. But it'd be nice to find out what you can put onto that. Probably someone had a lens on that and then lost it and whatever. So who knows? Maybe I can do that in the end. So what's the lens on this one? Feels like a bigger lens on the Astral. It goes to 1.5 meters. So it's about the same distance up to infinity, and the zoom is 32 to 12. What's the zoom on this one? Again, 12 to, what does that say? 32.5. All right. So you can zoom in a slightly more with the Fujica than you can with the Astral. So there we go. Fujica Zoom 8 and the Astral Reflex Zoom. Which would you prefer? Well, we're going to look at some footage, aren't we? And then we can decide, because the proof is in the pudding, is it not? What's going on the... Let's just keep updated with the chat. Nice coating. Oh, no. It seems to move. Okay, I must have been referring to the to this thing. So let's look at some footage. Let's get into the screening. I have... No.
And
Stop
for
that.
this.
Stop. Okay, so we're going to start. Let's get some music on first. We've got new music finally. New free YouTube music. Oh, not that one. Right. Oh, the aperture says it seems... Oh, Aldred says the aperture seems to move. Okay. Yeah, it works. It does that work, because I've got some footage to show you here. So, Super Cine 100 says, are the internal light meters still there or thereabouts? Yeah, they're there. They're in there. It's a selenium cell. It doesn't take batteries or anything, and yeah, it's there. They do open and close. I should just trust one and see how well it meters. But by now, you know, I'm using this 100 ASA black and white film, and I just know, just by rule of thumb, what f-stop to put it on. So it's quicker to just do it myself. Maybe not quicker, but definitely accurate. Let's look at some footage. Right, here's the Fujica Zoom 8 footage. Yeah, I mean this is a bit grainy. This was like at a probably like a low, probably like a F4 something. Okay, there's a little cult meeting in our street that happens once a year. It's called the Hokey Cokey, and it comes straight from the devil himself. I have run this through some stabilizers. This was our local street party. Old Radio says the Bell & Howell has a clip-on light meter, but it goes up to 40 ASA. Yeah, you know, what are you going to do? These old light meters. So the Fujica Zoom 8, I got to say, the footage looks a little bit washed out. It looks a bit like I've had a daylight filter on it or something. And these things don't have inbuilt daylight filters. I'm not sure if tungsten film was a thing. Doing the old water balloon toss there. I mean, it looks okay. You know, it's only been stabilized because there was some jitter in the scanning, which I've corrected here. Now here's the Astral Reflex Zone. Now, notice this. The gate goes all the way to beside the beside the holes. Let's do that again. So here, the picture actually goes to the edge here. So, you know, that's you effectively gives you a 16:9 ratio here. So that's not bad. I mean, if you've got the what I would guess you would call it there's the brooder space here that the old Bell & Howells did. Gives you a little extra gate. That's why it looks kind of more like widescreen than 4:3. But I got to say, the lens is doing all right here. I think the motor might have been slipping a little bit. There's a bit of shimmering here and there. But this was a very bright weather, perfect weather for shooting film in Bournemouth. We did a little trip to Bournemouth. See that low? Oh, hang on. Let's. Yeah, look, this was something that happened. Let's just pause that. So this here. Let's get the music off for a second there. So this was shot at wide open aperture and infinity focus, and there's no reason for it to be so blurry like this. It search me, but a lot of these cameras are absolutely useless in low light. Everything gets soft. Now, is there something wrong with the camera? Who knows? But it has happened to several cameras of mine where as soon as I go below f4, it starts getting muddy, soft, just not nice. Maybe it's the graininess of the film or something, but you know, this was very disappointing. So basically, the camera that bucks the trend of low f-stops looking like garbage is my Bolex. The Bolex, you can whack that jobby all the way down to 1.8, and as long as you know what you're focusing at, it's going to look all right. This is not good. So there's a point down for the Astral Reflex. Now this is why it's great to live in London, because there's free entertainment sometimes. So people say it's expensive, but it's this doesn't cost anything. The Galleon Andalusia came through Tower Bridge, and it was the talk of the town, and it was very nice. It was a look at that. And I shot that with zoomed in, and it came out nicely. In fact, so there's those two. So, stop that. Let's have a look at the. It was on the BBC. There we go. Replica 17th century merchant ship docks in Thames, and you can go and see it until November 6th. So I might pop over there, and there's lots of jokes went around about the last ship of the Spanish Armada has finally arrived. So let's have a look at these films now. These cameras with something shot side by side, because it was different conditions when I shot with one camera than with the other. So you want to see something exactly the same that you shot one after the other, and of course I did that. So here we've got the Fujica Zoom 8 on the I'll move over on the left, and the Astral Reflex Zoom, so we can see them side by side and really tell which one does the job better. The Fujica is just lower contrast. I don't know why that is. Lower. I don't know. You can see it, the Astral's got a bit more. I think it's a bit sharper, and it's also better contrast, and it's also 16:9. I don't know. Fujica were a good camera company. I don't know why they fell behind the Astral. Here's some more stuff I shot on the Astral. Nice. Look how sharp that is. I'm going to freeze that. Now this is inside at a lower f-stop. Again, disappointing. I don't know what's going on. I mean, just keep it for bright sunny days. That was shot there. Probably f16. Not looking bad at all. But I don't know what's going on. Albreo says the Canon knockoff was better. Oh yeah, this was I shot at also. I wanted to try it at 32 frames a second, and it had a bit of trouble with that. As you can see, it slipped. The film slipped a few times, but it looks all right. I mean, that was a f4 with a really bright light on it. So hey, Mike's in the house. Hi Ben and gang. Better late than never. You've just missed the rundown of the two standard 8 cameras. So final decision. Whoa. Fujica Zoom 8 or Nihon Astral Reflex. I gotta say, the Astral Reflex does win out in a few more categories than the Fujica. Fujica probably, leave them for the single 8 business, and I would use this. To be honest though, I'm not sure I'd use either of them. I mean, I've got a Bolex B8L, and it's just such a league ahead of these things. The lenses are better. I've got a zoom thing I can attach to it. Mike, you've got a Bolex B8. You know what the score is. Those things are reliable and they look amazing. But maybe you don't. Maybe you just come across one of these and you want to see if you can use it. So it has a little handle on it which you can put on. But let's have a look to see how much one of these is going to cost you. I'll just put that on so we can have the full. I guess you hold it this way. You have your thumb on the run, start and stop. And here, I don't know what you do with your finger there. There we go. Let's see how much one of these is gonna run you. On eBay at the moment, Fujica Zoom 8, £21.80. Probably the same, similar in dollars. I think I saw one for $14.99. What another one here? Zoom 8 EE, slightly different, £20, $19.99. Yeah, £30. These prices do not surprise me very much. What about the Astral Reflex? I only found one that was on sale at the moment, £40. There you go. There you go. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones. It's just one of these cameras. or both of them. That if you're really into Standard 8, I don't think you're going to be looking for one of these if you're really into it. And if you're just like casually want to find out about Standard 8 and mess about, then sure, get one of these, play with the rolls, get some fomapan, shoot it. It'll do the job. And then when you're really ready to move up to a big boy's camera, then go get yourself a Bolex. And so I don't know what else to tell you really about this, about both of these. I don't even know what I'm going to do with them. I don't need them. I don't really want them. I should probably just give them away to you lot. Anyone want a camera? I mean, I can't even be bothered to sell it on eBay. I probably wouldn't get more than like 10, 15 pounds. I should do a thing with a giveaway. How about that? When I reach 50 episodes, because we're on 48 now, I've got 2 more to get to 50. I'm going to do a big giveaway. And it's only going to cost me the postage, which it won't be inconsiderable considering how heavy these buggers are. Aldrea says, not too shabby, but Bolex better. Pretty much. I mean, and the Canon 512, if that works, then again, better than either of these. Probably about the same weight. These are not particularly light cameras. Right. That's that. Are we ready for some entertainment? Of course, now I've got this whole box. I'll show them to Mike because he just came late. So look at all those. That's just some of them. These are just the Standard 8 ones. I don't know what's on them. There's all sorts of goodies. I've already found some cool stuff. So we're going to watch one of those. Manny says, my Bolex P1 still impresses me when I see the footage. Oh, a P1. That's pretty much the equivalent of these, right, Manny? This is P1's the one a bit like this with a built-in zoom lens. Am I right? Nice. Nice camera. But you can't beat a prime lens. Right, so behind this curtain here, we're going to look behind the curtain is, over there, that's my projector. Let's go into the screening room. We're going to have a little film show now. We are going to watch, well, you'll see what we're going to watch, because I'm going to, okay, let's activate movie shooting on the DSLR. Hopefully something will come up. Yes, then there's the wall. Proof this is live video. Right. There we go, there's the light. My green screen is wrecked again. And I'm going to put some music on because this not that. Oh. Here we go. We're going to have some marching music because we've got now is footage from some kind of street parade in the I don't know, in the 70s or 80s, and I think it's in England. Although it looks a bit like, well, you'll see in a sec. Turn that light off. Oh, now we got the atmosphere. Just talk amongst yourselves while I start the projector. Hey, there we go. So, what we've got here is some kind of street parade, which is, it's out of focus. No, I think that was the camera person who was out of focus because this projector is focused. Oh, there's something in the way. Now, this is, I don't know. Let me try and focus that a little better. There we go. So there's a miss something. Look at that. They've really worked hard. Some sort of flower parade? I don't know. What does that say? This... I should probably freeze frame it and look at it. Let's see if I can focus that any better. There we go. I can't get the projector any more focused than that. Nice. Whoa, a swan! Tio says, how cool, love parades. I know. Daffodil Transit. Yeah, maybe this was Wales. What does that say? Cutthorpe Gala Cream. Ah, okay. Do we know where Cutthorpe is? These cars are amazing. Oh my god. I'm hoping that they just kept them like that afterwards. What is that? An Austin Allegro or something? What the hell? There's a little cage of children. Oh dear. Anyone seen The Wicker Man? This really does feel like the original sound for this thing. Sharon. Nice. Circa 1980 says Ian Hand. Hey, Ian Hand's in the. Yeah, going by some of the Lady Diana haircuts, I think you might be right. Looking at those cameras, looking at those cars. Yeah, this is when VHS cameras were still pretty big and expensive, and Super 8 was a much lightweight. And look at it, still looks good. Probably Kodachrome, definitely Kodachrome. Nice. What's this one? Oh, look, it's like a just married couple. No, what does that say? It's got a trailer with... Oh, okay, right, so that's the Miss whatever the town is. Maybe it's a pageant of... No, I don't know. I mean, with a bit of research, I could probably find out what this is. I don't know how Exploding Cinema got hold of it. Sometimes we buy films and in swap meets, charity shops, and car boot sales. Now that looks just dangerous. I mean, if that car stops suddenly, she's going to be up on the pavement. Oh no! Oh dear! There's a. Oh no! That boy! Oh dear! Oh dear! Yes, attitudes changed a little bit since you're allowed to paint your kids and parade them down the street. Old radios reckon. Mark III Escort, early 80s. So thank you, Ian. Wow. You know, fair play to whoever filmed this. They didn't hold back. They filmed everything. Now this is interesting. This part. A bunch of ladies in what I can only describe as lingerie. I don't see exactly what the point is of that, but you know, obviously they're going down well with the crowd. I think they were publicizing some here we go, some tractor company. Yeah, very the thing is, you could say, oh, it was all very different back then. I was alive back then. I don't remember anything like this, not on the streets of London anyway. Oh, there we go, so we're all done. Anyway, listen everyone, we are going... I'm going to switch off the projector. Aurora says Benny Hill. That was Ben's Camera Show number 48. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Thank you for listening to me witter on about old technology and stuff. The next show will be next week, Thursday, 3rd of October. I don't know what's going to be on that show because I'm rapidly hitting the wall where the amount of material I've got is being overtaken by time and using these all this stuff up on my shows. So I'll have to dredge around and see what else I've got to talk about or show you next week. Soon, coming up, I will be talking about the Umig Nautica, the famous underwater camera. Yes, the Umig Nautica. Very good camera. That's another one I have to borrow, and then I have to find some water to dunk it into. So, Old Radio says, I want to contact the people in the films I find sometimes. I know, I mean, damn. How is that? I mean, there should be some kind of like central clearinghouse for all this footage. People can peruse it and see, oh, that's me Uncle Alf, whatever. Anyway, listen, I'm going to let you all go. I've got my dinner to eat. And thank you, everyone, for joining me. Epic show, says Remjet. Oh, well, that's very kind of you. I like to stay inside of an hour these days. They're a little less epic than they used to be. Anyway, so, yeah. Thanks all for joining me. We'll see you next week. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Old Radios, Remjet, Stas Vlad, Tio Manny, Mike, if you're in the town, if you're still here, Raw Ross, Super Cine 100. You're all diamond geezers in my book, and I will see you again. I won't see you. You'll see me again in a week, and I've got something to show you then. Can't tell you today what it is because I don't know. Let's see let's see how things pan out. Good old show. Happy October. You too, you lot as well. I hope you haven't switched on your heating yet, because that stuff's getting pricey, the bastards. Anyway, my name's Ben Elton. Good night. See you next week, everyone. End stream. Yes, and I've discovered that after I hit end, it actually goes on a few more seconds, so I'm gonna have to sit here and not do anything embarrassing. Okay, so good night, everyone. Oh, that's better, my arse. Oh, I needed to scratch that for the last bloody hour. God, thank God for that. It's all off there now.